This time, I'd like to discuss transnational crimes, particularly those related to organized crime supported by the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. To begin with, let's take a look at this. This is a very recent article that discusses an incident from around June of this year. It was discovered that a hacker group had infiltrated a telecommunications company in Singapore and planted malware. The key point of this incident is that the group responsible for the hacking is backed financially by the Chinese Communist Party. This means that rather than being a case of organized crime, it could be considered a form of espionage carried out by the Chinese government. Incidentally, while U.S. media reports suggest Chinese backing, the CCP denies the claims. However, the malware was discovered by a security company, and it seems that they analyzed not just the malware itself but also the method of infiltration. Based on such analyses, they concluded that China was involved. I believe this announcement is based on thorough findings regarding the infiltration route. Although China denies its involvement, it is likely operating on a significant scale. The second key point is that Singapore was not the sole target. Let's look at another example. It turns out that American systems were also hacked. These systems are related to communication defense, and while it appears that in the U.S., such communication monitoring requires a court order, the system used for this purpose was breached. Such systems are designed to be highly secure to prevent unauthorized access to sensitive communications, such as those of prominent individuals. Yet, they were infiltrated. This incident has become significant news in technical circles. Many IT professionals, some of whom follow this channel, have shared their comments and emails with me. From a technical standpoint, this breach is likely considered a matter of grave concern within the U.S. industry. However, the Security Division claims that no data leaks occurred via this system, but the timing raises the possibility that the hackers aim to monitor calls of key U.S. individuals during the election period. Another theory is that heightened tensions in the South China Sea, particularly between the Philippines and China, are at play. This has been covered repeatedly in the news, but other neighboring countries are also on high alert. In this tense environment, there have been incidents such as Vietnam's seizure of Chinese vessels. Vietnam is now demanding the immediate release of its personnel and ships, questioning China's actions within its territorial waters. This suggests that the CCP, like the former Soviet Union and Northern Territories disputes, is beginning to employ forceful measures. Singapore, on the other hand, maintains a security cooperation partnership with the United States, a relationship that entails military cooperation. Geographically, Singapore holds a crucial position as a maritime hub and as a vital military base. Therefore, the U.S. places significant importance on its relationship with Singapore. Amid the escalating military tensions between China and countries in the South China Sea, nations with strong ties to the U.S. are likely engaged in close information exchanges with American military and government authorities. Thus, it's plausible that the CCP's true interest lies not in election-related information but in the nature of communications between the U.S. and its close allies, such as Singapore and the Philippines. Given the CCP's involvement in various issues, its espionage efforts seem to extend beyond specific data to cover diverse fields like politics and diplomacy. This suggests a broader intention to gather information through communication monitoring. The malware used in these cases infiltrates communication systems, extracts necessary data, and transmits it externally. Such tactics can yield a wealth of information. While the authorities claim there have been no significant data breaches this time, Singapore has experienced similar incidents in the past. For instance, in 2018, Singapore's largest healthcare organization, which manages a massive database of medical records, was hacked, and malware was installed. This malware allowed selective leakage of personal data from the database. It is believed that the hackers specifically targeted personal data related to then Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, who was undergoing post-operative care following cancer surgery. This kind of malware can remain unnoticed for extended periods, enabling hackers to search databases for specific individuals' information and transmit it externally. This incident, where the Prime Minister's personal data was targeted, garnered significant attention in Singapore but is not well known in Japan. Hacking is particularly insidious because its damage is not immediately apparent. Although this issue is of paramount importance, it often receives little attention since it unfolds as a technical battle between experts in cyberspace. If one side loses, the potential losses are enormous, yet these consequences are difficult to grasp for the average person. The situation raises questions about whether Japan's leadership, such as under a potential Ishiba administration, fully grasps the seriousness of these threats. I've noticed similar challenges during my experience with Nico Nico Douga being hacked. Nico Nico is an IT company and should understand the risks posed by hacking, yet it suffered substantial damage. This raises broader concerns about how systems managing vast amounts of national data are being protected. Systems related to pensions, taxation, and vehicle registration, for instance, are prime targets. If malware were introduced into these systems, sensitive information like lists of wealthy individuals in specific regions could be leaked externally.